What was something spine-chilling that a parent said to you? "I know what you did," was all the note from my mother said. But those 5 words made my blood freeze. Mom had always been the strict one, religious, traditional, with eyes that seemed to see through walls. Dad had left when I was 12, and we rarely spoke anymore. The night before, I'd snuck out after Mom went to bed. My friends and I broke into the community pool, swimming and drinking until 3 a.m. But somehow, she knew. She always knew. I crumpled the note and went inside, ready for the lecture. But the house was empty. On the kitchen table was another note. "Gone to Aunt Carol's for the weekend. We'll talk when I get back." When Sunday evening came and her car pulled into the driveway, my stomach was in knots. She walked in, set down her bag, and looked at me with an expression I couldn't read. "Mom, about the other night," I started. "Sit down, Jason," she said quietly. I braced myself for the explosion, but instead, she placed a small wooden box on the table between us. "Open it," she said. Inside was a stack of yellowed newspaper clippings. The top one showed a teenage boy being led away in handcuffs. I looked closer and felt a shock of recognition. The boy looked exactly like me. "That's your father," Mom said, "when he was 17. I picked up the clipping. The headline read, "Local teen sentenced in drunk driving death. Dad unalived someone?" My voice didn't sound like my own. Mom nodded slowly. "A 12-year-old girl. He was driving home from a party at the lake. He'd been drinking." "Why are you showing me this now?" I asked. "Because when I saw you come home that night, wet hair, smelling like alcohol, something inside me broke." Her voice was steady, but her hands trembled. "You looked so much like him at that age, making the same choices." "I wasn't driving," I said defensively. "We walked to the pool." "This time?" she said. "But what about next time?" She pulled something else from her purse, a small, worn photo. A smiling girl with braids and glasses. "This is Emily, the girl your father killed." She placed it carefully on top of the newspaper clippings. "I keep her picture to remind myself." "Remind yourself of what?" "That your father was a good person who made one terrible choice that destroyed multiple lives. That it could happen to anyone who thinks they're invincible." She looked directly at me. "Even you. Does Dad know you're showing me this?" "It was his idea," she said quietly. "It's why he left." "What?" "I thought you guys divorced because you fought all the time." "We fought because he couldn't forgive himself. He left because he thought you'd be better off without his influence. But he made me promise that when you started showing signs of taking the same path, I would tell you the truth." So all these years of strict rules, curfews, freaking out if I was even a minute late coming home, was me being terrified of history repeating itself. She reached across the table and took my hand. "I know what normal teenage rebellion looks like, Jason, but I also know how quickly normal can turn into tragedy." "Why didn't you tell me sooner?" I asked. "Your father wanted to protect you from his shame. I wanted to protect you from the burden of his mistakes." Her eyes filled with tears. "But after seeing you the other night, I realized that not knowing the truth was more dangerous than knowing it." "Is that why he never comes to see me?" "He watches you from a distance. At your baseball games, your graduation. He thinks you're better off without him in your life." That night, I sat in my room staring at my phone. I had texts from friends about another party. Before, I would have instantly said yes. Now, I wasn't sure about anything. I opened my contacts and scrolled to Dad. We hadn't spoken in months. I typed, "Mom told me about Emily today." 3 dots appeared immediately, disappeared, then reappeared. "Finally, I'm sorry you had to find out. I wanted to protect you from my mistakes." I wrote back, "Can we talk? Really talk?" His response came quickly, "Whenever you're ready." Those 4 words, "I know what you did," weren't just about catching me breaking rules. They were my mother's desperate attempt to keep history from repeating itself.